Hello dear students, welcome back to the botany online class. This video is the continuation of our previous video, that is about the pollinators. So now let me introduce the second type of a pollinating agent, that is biotic agent. And this biotic agents, it includes animals. Okay. And if the pollination takes place with the help of animals, then it is called as zoophily. So what do you mean by zoophily? If the pollination process takes place with the help of animals, then it is called as zoophily. Understood? And majority of the plants use biotic agents for the pollination process. Bees, butterflies, beetles, ants, birds and bats are the common pollinating agents. Among the animals, insects, particularly bees, are the dominant biotic pollinating agent. Even larger animals such as some primates, arboreal rodents means tree dwelling animals, or even reptiles have also been reported as pollinators in some species. Okay, so now under zoophily, it has several types such as entomophily, ornithophily, and chiropterophily. Understood? So, what do you mean by entomophily? If the pollination process takes place with the help of insects, then it is called as entomophily. Once again, I'll repeat. If the pollination process takes place with the help of insects, then it is called as entomophily. Okay. And if the pollination takes place with the help of birds, then it is called as ornithophily. So, ornithophily means it is nothing but if the pollination process takes place with the help of birds. And the third type is chiropterophily, which means if the pollination process takes place with the help of bats. Okay, with the help of bats, if the pollination process takes place, then such kind of pollination is called as chiropterophily. Okay, is that clear? So now coming to the first type, entomophily. So entomophily means if pollination takes place with the help of insects, then it is called as entomophily. And the plants which exhibit entomophily shows certain adaptations. That means here the flowers are large and are colorful, fragrant and rich in nectar. Okay. And the next adaptation is when the flowers are small, a number of flowers are clustered into an inflorescence to make them clearly visible. Is that clear? So that is the second adaptation. We'll move on to the third point. The animals are attracted to flowers by color and fragrance. And the flowers pollinated by flies and beetles secrete foul odors to attract these insects. Understood? So these are certain adaptations exhibited by entomophilous flowers. Once again, I'll repeat the points. The entomophilous flowers are large, they are colorful and fragrant, and they are rich in nectar. They produce large amount of nectar. Okay. When the flowers are smaller, many flowers are grouped together to form the inflorescence to make them clearly visible. And the animals are attracted to the flowers by its color and fragrance. And the flowers, particularly pollinated by the flies and beetles, secrete foul odors to attract these insects. So these are about the entomophily type of pollination. So is that clear? Okay, we'll move on to the next type then, ornithophily. Ornithophily means if the pollination process takes place through birds, that means if the pollination process takes place with the help of birds, then it is called as ornithophily. And the flower which exhibits ornithophily type of pollination is called as ornithophilous flower. Okay, and the ornithophilous flowers are pollinated by small birds, usually have curved tubular shapes. That means the flowers here possess curved tubular shapes, and the birds carry the pollen off on their heads and neck to the next flower they visit. Many species of small birds, such as hummingbirds and sunbirds, are pollinators for the plants such as orchids and other wildflowers. Okay. Flowers visited by birds are usually sturdy and are oriented in a way to allow the birds to stay near the flower without getting their wings entangled in the nearby flowers. And flowers typically has a curved tubular shape which allows access for the bird's beak, and they are brightly colored. They are odorless flowers that are open during the daytime, are also pollinated by the birds. As a bird seeks energy rich nectar, pollen is deposited on the bird's head and neck and is then transferred to the next flower it visits. Okay, so these are about the ornithophily type of pollination. Okay, so coming to the last type, that is chiropterophily. So what do you mean by chiropterophily? So if the pollination process takes place with the help of bats, okay, if the pollination process takes place with the help of bats, then it is called as chiropterophily. And the flower which exhibit chiropterophily type of pollination is called as chiropterophilous flower. Am I clear? Okay. Now the flowers that are pollinated by bats bloom at night, tending to be large, wide mouthed, and pale color. They may also give off strong scent. So these are the characters of chiropterophilous flowers. The flowers are here large and they are wide mouthed and pale colored and give strong scent. Okay. In the tropics and deserts, bats are often the pollinators of nocturnal flowers such as agave, guava, and morning glory. The flowers are usually large here and white or pale colored so that they can be distinguished from their dark surroundings at night. The flowers often have a strong fruity or musky fragrance and produce large amount of nectar. And they are naturally large and wide mouthed to accommodate the head of the bat. As the bats seek the nectar, their faces and heads become covered with pollen, which is then transferred to the next flower. So am I clear? So once again I'll repeat the points. The flowers that are pollinated by the bats bloom at night, tending to be large, wide mouthed, and pale color, and also give strong scent. In the tropics and deserts, bats are often the pollinating agent which pollinates the nocturnal flowers such as agave, guava, and morning glory. And these flowers are usually large and white or pale color so that they can be easily distinguished from the dark surroundings at night. And the flowers have a strong fruity or musky fragrance and produce large amounts of nectar. And they are naturally large so that naturally large and wide mouth so that to accommodate the head of the bat. As the bats seek the nectar, their faces and heads become covered with pollen, which is then transferred to the next flower. Okay, so these are about the pollinating agents. Am I clear? So the pollinating agents are nothing but which are also called as pollinators, and which helps in the process of pollination. And under pollinators there are two groups. They are abiotic agents and biotic agents. The abiotic agents include water and wind as pollinating agents, whereas under biotic agents it includes animals. And under animals it includes several types. If the pollination process takes place with the help of insects, then such kind of pollination is called as entomophily. And if the pollination process takes place with the help of birds, then such kind of pollination is called as ornithophily. And if the pollination process takes place with the help of bats, then that type of pollination is called as chiropterophily. So that is about the topic. Thank you.